Hi all, welcome back to my channel. The last class we are discussed the basics of heat and temperature. Then first concept of heat and temperature. What is the heat? Units of heat, effect of heat, specific heat. We are discussed thermal capacity, calorific value, water equivalent, types of heat, sensible heat, latent heat, and then temperature and the temperature scale, relationship of for conversion from one temperature to another temperature, boiling point, what is the boiling point, what is the melting point. Okay, today we have to discuss one problem. First we have to discuss one problem between conversion. So there is already calculated one problem is there, so you can just go through them, and after that some assignment question also for you should practice that questions. Okay, only for it is a very frequently asked question for the exam, so you have to calculate that problem only. You can do the problem in the exam time. Okay, so first question is convert minus 40 degree into degree Fahrenheit. Minus 40 degree Celsius into degree Fahrenheit. So this is an equation, degree and Fahrenheit. So you have to choose this equation and this equation. 0 degree Celsius, a degree Celsius divided by 100 equal to degree Fahrenheit minus 32 divided by 180. Okay, so that is a equation. Minus 32 divided by 180 is equal to C by 100. So what is the is given? Minus 40 degrees Celsius values is given. So it is a minus 40. So F minus 32, 180, it is going to the right side. So C by 100 into 180. So F minus 32 is equal to minus 40. C equal to minus 40. So minus 40 divided by 100 into 180. So my F minus 30 is equal to minus 72. So F equal to minus 72 plus 32. The answer is minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. So you can see one wonderful things that minus 40 degrees Celsius is equal to minus 40 degree Fahrenheit. So when the which temperature, when the Fahrenheit degrees and Fahrenheit Celsius and degree Celsius, okay, degree Fahrenheit and degree Celsius the same, that is known as minus 40 degree. So when the which temperature, when degree Celsius is equal to degree Fahrenheit, it is temperature is minus 40 degree Celsius. Oh, sorry, minus 40. Okay, minus 40 will be both the degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit will be same. Another problem is there. Convert 37 degrees Celsius into Kelvin. So you have to use this equation. C by 100 is equal to K minus 273 divided by 100, and K minus, you have to find the K value. So C is given. Okay, K minus 273 is equal to C by 100 into 100. So 100 will be cancel. Okay, cancel will be there. So degree Kelvin equal to C plus 273 will go to the right side. C plus 273. So 37 plus 273 is equal to 312 Kelvin. Okay, 37 degrees Celsius is equal to 312 Kelvin. Okay, what is the importance of 37 degrees Celsius? It is our body temperature. Okay, 36.8 or 36.9. Normally, it is near the 37 degree. So it is a temperature of our body. Okay, so when you're asking to represent our temperature of the body in the Kelvin scale, you have to near the 312. Actually, it is 36.8. Okay, that is 8, and it is rounding. It is a 37 degrees Celsius. Okay. So the next one is absolute temperature. Sorry, absolute zero. So absolute zero means 0 Kelvin. That is known as a absolute zero. So absolute zero in the degree Celsius will be minus 273 degrees Celsius. Okay. So I mean that when you're asking what is the absolute zero means, absolute zero in the temperature means it is 0 Kelvin. Okay, 0 Kelvin means minus 273 degree Celsius. Okay, minus 273 degree Celsius. It will be degree Celsius. Okay, 0 Kelvin or minus 273 degree Celsius. Then some assignment, 6 assignment is there. For 28 you have to convert degree. minus 212 degree Fahrenheit you have to convert degree Celsius. Okay, 72 Reamer you have to convert like that. 6 question you have to work out this problem. Okay. The next one is calorimeter. So what is the use of calorimeter? So calorimeter is used to measure the heat. Okay, it is used to measure the heat. Okay, so you have to check the what is the working of the calorimeter. When two bodies of different temperature, preferably a solid and a liquid, are placed in physical contact with each other, the heat is transferred from the body with a higher temperature to the body with a lower temperature until thermal equilibrium is attained between them. It is mean that when your two body of different temperature is joined or contacted each other, what will happen? The heat will be flow from higher temperature. Where which body is a high temperature? Which body, the one body will be high temperature, one body will be the lower temperature. The heat will be transferred from higher temperature body to the lower temperature body. Okay, the body at a higher temperature releases heat while the body at lower temperature absorb it. So higher temperature body will be release the heat, lower temperature body will absorb heat. The principle of calorimetry indicate the law of conservation of energy. So what is the lower conservation energy? Energy neither be created nor be destroyed means the temperature is the one body is releasing the temperature, okay, releasing the heat, other body is absorbing that heat. Okay, the total lost by the hot body is equal to the total heat gained by the cold body. That will be combined with the law of conservation of energy. Energy neither be created nor be destroyed. That will be law of conservation of energy. Then the total heat lost by a hot body is equal to the total heat gained by the cold body. Okay. Then there is a one calorimeter is there, one solid, one liquid is there, one solid is there. So these are thermometer. Okay, this is a thermometer. Is a stiffer that is just shaking the liquid. Okay, heat loss is equal to heat gain. That is the law of conservation of energy. So there is equation for the finding the heat. Q is equal to mc into delta T. The heat transfer in a system is calculated by using the formula. When you're okay, Q is equal to mc into delta T. What is a Q? Is the measure of heat transfer that you have to find. Okay, m is the mass of the body, that is a known value. C is the specific heat of the body. So liquid or solid, you know the specific heat. So material, different material have different specific heat, that will be already you know. Then delta T, temperature change you can measure using the thermometer. Okay, then you have to find what is the heat. Calorimeter will be the, there is a liquid solid, when you're touching each other the temperature will be changed. The temperature will be changed, you can measure through the thermometer. Okay, the specific heat is known, a mass will be known, then you can find the heat. Next one is thermometer. So to measure the temperature, normal temperature, we are using thermometer. They are based on the principle that liquid and solid expand when they are subjected to heat. What is this? When the liquid and solid expand when they are subjected to heat. So when you are placing liquid and solid in front of a heated heat, what will happen? It will be expand. In then mercury and alcohol expand uniformly. So the liquid mercury and alcohol expand uniformly. Uniform expansion for the mercury and alcohol is possible when heat is applied. The volume of a liquid increases and the liquid rises in the capillary tube in integral with the container. That is the working of the clinic. There is a one clinical thermometer is there. In there is one cap tube is there. Okay, here is a reading, and then here is a mercury. The mercury bulb is there. What will happen when heat is applied? When the here when you are applying the heat, the volume of the liquid increases. The volume of the liquid means mercury volume will be increased. The liquid rises in the capillary tube. That is a capillary tube. The liquid will be rises in the capillary tube integral with the container. Container, inside the container it will be liquid level will be increased. Volume increase means level will be increased. Mostly mercury is used in this type of thermometer because of the properties. What is the property? It is shiny, you can easily find, and it will not adhere with to the glass. Okay, it is not attached to the glass. Okay, not stick. Okay, not adhere to the glass. and we can measure up to 300 degrees, up to 300 degrees Celsius you can measure using the clinical thermometer. That is, we are using the mercury here. The mercury, when the mercury volume will be increased uniformly with the applied heat, that we are using for the, that is the main reason we are using for the clinical thermometer, that's mercury. So liquid used for in the thermometer is mercury. That is an important point. The next point is pyrometer. The pyrometer we are used for measuring higher temperature. Okay, pyrometer we are used to measure higher temperature. Thermoelectric pyrometer is based on the principle that the soldering point between the wires of different metal, when heated, a contact voltage is generated. In the pyrometer, what is the connection? There is a one two wire will be there. Okay, different metals, two wire we are used, and it is soldered. Okay, two wire of different metal are soldered. When heated, that contact, when the contact is heating, what will happen? A voltage is generated in this contact. The voltage depends upon the temperature difference between the hot measuring point and the cold end of the wire. So what will happen there? When the temperature, when heat is applied, what will happen? The point will be produce one voltage. It is depends on the hot measuring point and the cold end of the wire. End of the wire, cold end of the wire is depends on the cold end of the wire and the hot measuring point. Okay, the thermocouple elements are constructed of copper and constant. So with the joint is, we are constructed up to 600 degrees Celsius, we are using copper and constant. Okay, and higher up to 1600 degree we are using platinum and platinum rhodium. Okay, platinum and platinum rhodium mix will be used as a different metal. Here will be copper and constant we are using. Thermocouple elements, thermocouple means the two couple elements that is joined with the soldering. Okay, and then other type is radiation pyrometer. In the radiation pyrometer, we have to measure up to 3000 degrees Celsius. Okay, normally the pyrometer is used to measure the higher temperature. The radiation pyrometer and one classification, radiation pyrometer are used to measure temperature of red hot metal up to 3000 degrees Celsius. So very high temperature we are using, we are measuring using radiation pyrometer. These concentrated thermal rays through an optical lens and focus on the thermocouple. There is a thermocouple element will be the two metal will be joined together. So we are concentrating that ray through a convex lens. So when you are producing one convex lens is there, so we are pointing that ray to that point. The scale of ammeter is calibrated in degrees Celsius, or so when the voltage is induced here. So when your circuit is closed through an ammeter, what will happen? That is, ammeter will be show one reading that will be depends on your temperature. Okay, the scale of the ammeter is calibrated in degrees Celsius. So ammeter scale will be in the calibrated in degrees Celsius or Kelvin. Sometimes it will degree Celsius, other one is sometimes it will be Kelvin. So one convex lens will be there. There is a thermocouple will be there. Then one scale of ammeter will be there. You have to measure the degree Celsius or degree Kelvin, sorry, Kelvin scale. The next point is transmission of heat. Okay, the next our heading is transmission of heat is a form of energy and it is capable of doing work. Okay, it is a form of energy and is capable of doing work. Heat flows from a hot body to a colder body, or from a point of high temperature to point of low temperature. That is a common point. The greater is the temperature difference, the more rapidly will be the heat flow. So temperature difference between two point will be higher than what is the rate of the flow will be higher value. The next point is heat is transmitted in three ways. That is an important. Why there is a commonly there is a three ways we are heat is transmitted. The first one is by conduction, second one is by convection, and third one is by radiation. By conduction, by convection, by radiation. The first point is conduction. Conduction is the name given to the transmission of heat of energy by contact. So when the heat is transmitted through a contact, that is known as a conduction. Once again, conduction is the name given to the transmission of heat energy by contact. the heat source in contact with the conductor. It means that it is heat is transmitted through the contact. So heat source is contact with the conductor. That is, conductor will be metal rod like that. The rod is in contact with the thermometer. So to measure the temperature, we have to connect with the thermometer. Due to the conduction heat, heat is transferred. Due to the conduction, heat is transferred from heated end to the free end. So heated end means higher temperature to lower temperature, that is known as heated end to the free end. In general, good electrical conductors are also good heat conductors. Good electrical conductors are also good heat conductors, and good electrical insulator also good heat insulator. That is the one important point is there. In general condition, good electrical conductors are also good heat conductors, and good electrical insulator also a good heat insulator. A good heat insulator does not necessarily withstand high temperature. That is another important point. A good heat insulator does not necessarily withstand high temperature. It will not a high temperature withstand material. Okay, good heat insulator does not necessarily withstand high temperature. That is another point. That is next one is convection. Conduction we are discussing. Next one is convection. Conversion is the name given to the transmission of heat energy by upward flow. The flowing of the molecules that will be in the due to the flowing of the molecule, you will get the transmission of heat, that is known as a convection. When heated, the fluid, liquid or gas became less dense and because of its mobility is displaced upwards. So when it is heated, what will happen? The molecule will be less dense. Okay, so it is displaced to the upwards. Okay, due to the and by similar uh, but by a similar but colder and more dense fluid. So when it is a colder condition, the molecule will be more dense. So it will be moved downwards. Okay, when the liquid or gas is heating, what will happen? The molecule of the fluid or liquid or gas, anything, okay, became less dense, and because of its mobility, it displaces upwards, it will move the upwards. When it is colder, what will happen? It will be more dense and it will be moved downwards. Okay, so the conversion principle, there is a two example. You can, the domestic hot water system, the domestic hot water system, you can understand this one. The next one is the cooling system in motor car. The cooling system in motor car, when the water is heated, it will be moved upwards. When water is cold, it will be moved downwards. Conversion, you can see that there will be in the a candle will be there. Heat is transferred through the air. Okay, thermometer getting the mercury heated by through the convection due to the through the gas or air. Next one is radiation. Heat is radiated or transmitted from one object to another object in a space without actually being contact by means of electromagnetic waves. So when the heat is transmitted through a electromagnetic waves, it is known as a radiation. The best example is heat from of the sun travel through the space. So in between sun and earth, what will happen? There is some area, there is no air is there, vacuum region is there, but heat is transferred from sun to our body or earth through the electromagnetic waves. That is known as the radiation. These waves are similar to light waves and radio waves. Electromagnetic waves means these waves are similar to light waves and radio waves. They can be refracted by lenses and reflected by mirrors. Okay, so it's a means of electromagnetic waves that can be refracted by lenses and reflected by mirrors. This radiation is also is called infrared. Okay, radiation, that is electromagnetic waves, is known as infrared. It requires no medium to carry the radiation. There is no medium is required. So vacuum, it will be possible to transfer the heat. Okay, that is the infrared radiation. So three method of transmission heat you are studied. One is conduction, second one is conversion, and the radiation. The three things you are simply understand using this one. Okay, so that is a one uh, kettle like steel bottle is there, and here handle is there. Handle, you can feel the hot using through the conduction. The molecule movement is the heat is movement is the convection. Okay, when the radiation you will get heated. That is a radiation, conversion and conduction. So next one, expansion due to heat. It means that when the heated, when any body heated, what will happen? Some expansion will be there. So when a solid or liquid gases substance is heated, it expands and volume is increased. Volume will be increased. Similarly, when it is cold, it contract and volume is decreased. So it means that when the body is heated, what will happen? The volume will be increased. When it is cold, what will happen? Volume will be decreased. Best example is this. You can see the small gaps are left in between the lines of railway track to allow for expansion during the summer. So when the railway track, you can see some gap is there. It is for the summer time. In summer time, what will happen? There is some expansion will be there. Okay, if there is if this is not done, the gap is not done, what will happen? The rail would expand, and when there is a causing derailment of trains. Okay, so what will happen is that there is a no gap, and the rail will be the summer season, the rail expand. Okay, rail will be expand. What will happen? It will be bent and it will make the accident. Okay, for the same amount of heat given, the expansion of liquid is greater than solid and the expansion of gas is more than liquid. The point is that one is when you are giving the same amount of heat for a solid, liquid, gas, the expansion will be more for the gas, then second will be liquid, and third for the solid. For the water, there is a one important point. The objective question, you can see one important point I noted here. Volume of water is reducing while heating from 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. Normally, when the heat is applied, what will happen? Volume is increasing. But in the case of water, 0 to 4 degrees Celsius, what will happen? The volume is decreasing. Okay, after the 4 degree, the volume will be increased. This is a 4 degree, actually this is 3.98 degree, you can take as a 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, the volume of water is reducing while heating from 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. So means in the 4 degrees Celsius, the volume has a up to 0 to 4 degree, the volume will be decreased. Means that 4 degree, the volume will be minimum. Okay, the volume will be minimum. What is the density? Density is mass by volume. So volume is minimum, it is 4 degree, means the density is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius. That question is asking. The water has the density is maximum at 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, the up to this video, there is a two important temperature we are discussing. One is minus 40 degree. In minus 40 degree, both the degree Celsius and Fahrenheit and degree Celsius are both are same. Next one is in 4 degrees Celsius, water has it is maximum density, or it has least volume. Okay, the next class we are discussing this next class we are discussing coefficient of linear expansion, one important topic. Okay, so I am concluding this video. Okay, I think you are all you are understanding my classes, and any suggestion you can comment me. Okay, I will improve my video standard. Okay, thank you.